Hey, it's Giovanni. Welcome to Archangel Odyssey. I am so excited to have you on this journey with me. So, super quick, why is this experience, this program called Odyssey? Well, the word Odyssey means a long wandering or voyage, usually marked by many changes of fortune. And what I will show you is that together we are all on an Odyssey together, and then you get to create your own Odyssey for your clients. Now, here are some photos from some popular movies. We have Wizard of Oz, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, Avengers, the X-Men. What do all of these kinds of stories have in common? Well, the first thing is that they have a group, or what I would call a circle, of diverse heroes. And I'll get to the circle in a minute because that's what this module and this session is all about. They all have a singular mission. So notice how I said that the members of the circle might be diverse, but the through line and what they have in common is that they're all on a singular mission and they're all on the same journey together to get to the same place. And it's the fellowship of the group that helps achieve the mission. One of the things I love about creating dream client communities, which is what I've done, which is what you're going to do, is that the energy of the group helps the individuals of the group achieve their transformation. And there's the transformation by the end. And most importantly, they all have a guide, right? And this is all based on Joseph Campbell's hero's journey structure. If you've never heard of this, Joseph Campbell was a mythologist who studied myths, stories, religions, and discovered that there was one common pattern in all these major stories throughout time. That's called the hero's journey that we'll find in most major movies, major stories that you've read. And there's always a guide, right? So in The Matrix, there was Morpheus. In Wizard of Oz, there was Glinda helping the heroes on their journey. There was Obi-Wan Kenobi and Gandalf. So on our journey together, you and the other members are the circle of heroes of Archangel Odyssey. And then by the end of our journey, you become the guide for your own circle. So what is the guide's role? What will become your role? First is to build the circle, give them the tools, directions, and a map, and then guide them on their journey. This is what I'm going to do for you over the next 12 modules. This is what you will do for your own clients on their own transformations. And by focusing on the journey, your program goes from being transactional to being experiential. Now, one of the things we're going to work together over the next 12 weeks on is creating what I call your dream statement. And this is a sample of what the dream statement looks like. I help a specific group of people go from here to there so they can create some kind of impact using my thing. And to fill in some blanks, I help my circle go from their current reality to their desired outcome so that they can achieve their dream using my map. Your circle is what we're talking about today. We'll be talking about their dream next time, and your map is your program. I like to think of it as a map because you are essentially giving people directions from their current reality to their dream come true future. And here's an example. I help coaches go from trading time for money to a successful group program so that they can help a lot more people make more money and free up their time using my Archangel Odyssey program. There's also a short version of this dream statement, which is, I help my circle verb their outcome, which, in other words, here's one that I can potentially say, I help coaches build dream client communities. There's an incredible coach named Coach Jenny that I helped last year, and this is her short dream statement. I help moms become fitness models. Now, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words, do you have a clear picture of who she can help and how she's helping them and what she does? This is what we want to do together. We want to create clarity around our predictable promise so that when you talk about what you're doing and who you're helping and how you're helping them, people understand. Now, your circle, let's talk about your circle. There are 3 aspects of the Odyssey. The first one is your circle, which is who you help. The second is their dream, which is the transformation they want. And the third is your map, how you help them get there. And your brand And all of the marketing in the future will be based on your Odyssey. So in other words, you can build your reputation based on your promise, which are the transformations you create, and by being uniquely qualified to guide a specific group of people on a very specific journey. And the more specific we get, the easier it is to grow. And your mission over the next 90 days is to attract and enroll 10 to 20 people. Not 100, not 1,000, not 1,000,000. And here's why I'm saying this. We often get bombarded with messaging that we need to have a giant platform and we need to have a giant email list and a giant social media followers. And I'm telling you that we need to focus. We need to focus on attracting and working with 10 people. One of the biggest mistakes we make is being vague with describing our circle and their transformation. And why do we do this? It's because we are afraid that if we get specific in describing who we help and what their transformation is, we'll be turning away potential business. I've seen this a million times. I've had this conversation a million times. And yet in those same conversations, my clients will say, I don't know why people aren't responding to me. I don't know why I can't enroll people or attract the right kind of clients to me. And the reason is you are not being specific enough. And here's the cool thing. Being specific at the beginning, like it's 10 people, which means you can count them on your hands, which means you can get really specific with who these 10 people are, but then you grow out from that because it becomes easier to go from 10 to 100 and then from 100 to 1,000 and then from 1,000 to wherever you want to go. But it starts with 10. And I promise you, by being specific at the beginning, you can actually help different people and a lot more people in the future, but you need to scale outwards in that way and not try to cast a giant net and not be helpful to anybody. It is our vagueness that is repelling the right people because they don't know that we can help them. So your mission is to attract and create success stories for 10 people. Transformational success stories will become your best beacon to attract dream clients in the future. So part of our journey together is to identify who can become these first or next 10 success stories for you. Now, in our coaching call together, I will be guiding you through a tool called the Dream Client Inventory. And here are a series of questions I want you to think about in preparation for that conversation with me. So these first few questions will apply if you've already worked with the kinds of clients that you want to continue helping. And then I'll also share some questions based on if you are launching something new. So if you have worked with clients already, who are your top 4%? Now, this is a phrase I came up with 10 years ago, and it's based off of the Pareto principle. So if you've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, where 20% of effort creates 80% of results. Well, typically in a business, your top 20% clients, however you identify them, create 80% of the results for you. And your top 4% are your top 20 of your top 20. So these are what I would identify as dream clients. And it's not just who pays you the most, because that's only one variable. It's who makes you smile when you interact with them, who lights you up and charges your batteries, who would you have over for dinner, who would you describe as you being each other's heroes. This to me is a dream client. And I want you to think about in your world with the people you've already helped, who would you identify as these or this kind of person, right? And then what qualities, characteristics, behaviors, beliefs, and values do you think that they have in common with each other and with you? And I want you to think about that. And we'll talk about that when we have our coaching call. I also want you to think about who have you already helped to create amazing transformations, and think about who they are. Now, who are your bottom 4%? If you have a top 4%, you have a bottom 4%. And these are the people that in the past have, or maybe right now, have drained your batteries. They feel like an obligation. They didn't become a success story, and they didn't respect you or listen to you or follow through. If you had a chance, you may have even wanted to fire them as a client. And now this is the challenging part. What qualities, characteristics, behaviors, beliefs, and values do you think they have in common with each other and with you? I want you to think about this. Now, if you're starting something new, here are some questions for you. By the way, even if you're not starting something new, these questions would apply to you too. Who do you want to be a hero to? In other words, is there a description of a person you feel called to support? Maybe it's to prevent them from experiencing pain that you've been through in the past. And is there a description of a person you know that you can help with your existing skills, tools, expertise, experiences, stories, failures, even all the things that you've been through that you know you can leverage and use as your gift, is what I call your gift, to support other people? Now, if these kinds of questions are a challenge for you, it's totally okay. The work we do in future modules will help create clarity for this one. So one of the cool things about Archangel Odyssey is that it's cumulative, like we'll go back and forth. So if you don't get clarity in one area, something we do together in the future will help give you clarity for the things we've done in the past. That's the session for today. I look forward to chatting with you in our coaching call and in module 2.